Welcome back everyone to yet another day of tips to breeze to your college papers. In today's video, we'll tackle the final boss. Today, we will learn everything you need to know about the conclusion, the last step in your college paper, the final barrier that is letting you from snatching that A+ under your professor's nose. Okay, I know what you are thinking, that what's so special about conclusion, but you need to hear me out. Suppose you are at the 5-star restaurant. You had a great starter and a main course, and then waiting for a sweet conclusion, the dessert, the pinnacle of the meal. But what do you get? A burnt cake and a small apology from chef. Imagine how dissatisfied you will be feeling that time. What I'm trying to imply here is that the introduction of your paper is that crackling starter, the juicy and filling main course is that main body of your paper, and then finally the conclusion is your dessert. Now, let us understand what is conclusion. According to entemonline.com, the conclusion is deduction or inference reached by reasoning, result of a discussion or examination. In simpler words, it is the understanding you have reached about your topic after dedicating your blood and sweat to your research. The conclusion basically concludes your paper and leaves the reader to a clear understanding of your findings. But you know what? A conclusion is not a rocket science. It consists of 3 main ingredients: a restatement of a summary or a thesis statement, a summary of the main points already discussed, and lastly, the future implication and significance of your research. Now, the one thing I would like to tell you with utmost confidence, that conclusion is not your enemy. It is rather your overthinking brain that is convinced that the conclusion isn't it up to the mark. The thesis or summary statement usually appears in introduction of your paper, but don't worry if you haven't included in your paper formally yet. Just ask yourself, what is my intention to write this paper? What stance do I want to take? And there you'll find your thesis statement. Now, I'm no dictator to tell you that this is the exactly pattern you need to follow, but I will highly recommend this tried and tested format to keeping it simple. So let's tackle each step one by one. Here, the final sentence is the thesis statement. Now, how does this tie or relate to the conclusion? Very simple. This sentence clearly states the intention to educate the public about effect of ergot causing hysteria to prevent a repetition of past. Now, by the time your reader goes through the body, the initial reasons for the paper might evaporated entirely from their mind. So, it's your job to give them a little nudge. Reiterating the thesis statement allows you the perfect opportunity to reach out the audience and revisit the main focus of the paper. I should warn you that you must not copy the thesis statement from the introduction for your conclusion. Just rephrase it and you are good to go. Moving on to the next part, you have to pick the main points and rephrase it and summarize them. See, the secret of A-grade conclusion is the ability to show how much you have learned throughout the paper and research. So it's more than reiterating those points in the main discussion and rather focusing on what you have learned or concluded from overall research. Now you might say, what if I've remembered something that I forgot to include in main discussion? Can I include this in conclusion? No, do not make this rookie mistake of dumping the information in conclusion. There must not be any new information in conclusion section. Once you have completed the summary, you are already 90% through the conclusion. Now, all you have to do is answer the reader when asked, so what? So, what is the point of this entire research? What does the reader have to gain after offering this precious time of reading your paper? You see, merely restating the thesis statement and summarizing the main portion is not enough for your conclusion. Unless the conclusion does not show clearly the significance of the paper, it is of no use. So in this section, you could have 2 options to consider. You can explain how your research has filled in the gap among the literature, or you can focus on exploring future possibilities of research. Now, generally, I'd be taking up the leave for now, but because I genuinely care whether you screw up your conclusion or not, here are few bonus tips that I thought you could get benefit from. First, avoid beginning your conclusion paragraph with words or phrases like in conclusion, to summarize, to conclude, overall, thus, etc. It's just too cliche. I mean, it might sound authoritative, but it looks pretty weird on paper. Second, do not include new references in the conclusion. After all, when will you discuss the new references when you are already in the final section of the paper? Third, keep the check on your transitional words. Using thus, therefore, hence almost in every sentence of your conclusion will eventually reduce the impression of readers for your paper. And finally, strike a balance. Your conclusion needs to be equal or similar length to your introduction. Now, that was a lot of information to take in for a single video. Well, all you got to do is save this video for later. Let us know what assignment woes are troubling you in the comment section and we will try to cover them in the next video. Make sure to ring the bell to subscribe to the channel before you leave. You can also check more college paper samples on MyAssignmentHelp.com. Link is given in the description box.